Hey everybody, it's TotalGamerJunkie and I'll welcome you all back to my channel. Now if you're seeing this, that means you're interested in seeing what I'll be playing next year and how do I have a game already planned for next year. Well, this game was actually on Kickstarter and it's already been funded, and I actually pledged some money to it because I thought it was really good. Basically what it's about this girl named Willow, and she ends up discovering that she's a witch. Now it's not like open world in that it's a visual novel game, and it really piqued my interest because it's got like a bunch of multiple endings and all that, and I for one enjoy multiple endings, roots and that, various outcomes, those types of stories. I really enjoyed it, so I'm definitely going to be playing this game next year. Yeah, and so like I thought I'd go into detail about it more, and then about the characters that are up on the Kickstarter page and all that. But before I do, I thought I'd show you all the trailer. So yeah, I'm about to put it up now so you can all watch it.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Hey, Willow! Don't get lost out there!
Did I do that?
You sure did, mate.
You can talk?
We are witches, darling.
Wicked witches.
Wicked. Can't we be, good?
If they call me wicked for following my heart, then so be it.
Okay, so that was the trailer there, and for me, after seeing that, like, I was really interested in it, and I even got more interested reading through the like lore in that. Well, not lore, but just what they put up on the Patreon page. So it's a visual novel set in 1993. Wicked Willow will turn your moral compass upside down. Will you learn the ways of a witch from someone you can't trust? Would you turn trees into monsters to save a forest from clear cutters? Would you sacrifice your soulmate's memory to stop a war? And speaking of soulmates, how far would you go to fight for a love that society calls wicked? So basically there's like going to be a bunch of multiple choices in that, and romances, and like, honestly, this is a game like I wouldn't mind replaying again and again and again. Now let's talk about the characters. Alright, first up we have Willow. Who is Willow? She's a judgy vegan, an atheist who says she wears a cross ironically, a gifted student who barely bothers to show up to class, a sad soul with a tragic past. A brush with death awakens Willow's powers, but don't expect them to improve her attitude. So a brush with death, as you can see in the trailer, maybe she's in the forest and the clear cutters have come and they're knocking down all the trees and she nearly dies, and that forces her powers to become activated. And I do really like the art style, because it's like a gifted student who barely bothers to show up. She's really got that look like she really doesn't care at all. At least in my opinion, that's what I believe. And I honestly look forward to seeing what type of personality she has in the game. Like, can it be changed as you go into the game? Like, can you make her a total bitch, or can you be the nicest person you can be? We'll have to find. Alright, next up we have Zarsi. I think that's how you pronounce it. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Do you think I'm some kind of devilish monster? I'll have you know I used to be a nun, but after a little taste of sin, well, let's say I converted. What's wrong with leading people down a path of temptation? Temptation leads to wonderful things. I don't eat people's souls, I set them free, among other things. Okay, so she kind of looks like she's transformed into a sort of succubus. At least that's how I see her. So what she says is she leads what's wrong with leading people down a path of temptation? So maybe she'll be one of the people who tries to turn Willow into what do you call it? Into a bad person, like. Because, like, go back to Willow real quick. It says in the description here, magic has consequences. Follow Willow's trials and tribulations as she slowly learns the price of power. Whether it's a transformative magic potion or deadly fireball, every option carries risk. Want to play Robin Hood? Stealing from a dishonest bank to help the poor? If you get caught, you'll go to a witch's prison. And Zarsi the succubus is your new cellmate. So that's probably how you'll meet her. If you do something bad with your power, you'll be sent to a witch's prison. That's how you meet Zarsi. Now it says here, should you trust Zarsi or fear her, or perhaps both? The choice is up to you. And speaking of choices, don't want to use magic? You don't have to. But Tanya, Willow's mentor, has a saying about that. Inaction has its own price. Now, who is Tanya? We're going to get to that in a moment, but let's talk about Zarsi real quick. So basically, we may or may not meet her depending on our choices, because it says if you get caught, you'll go to a witch's prison for misusing your powers and that. And yeah, and it does say Zarsi the succubus is your new cellmate. Okay, so she is a succubus. Alright, I was pretty sure she was a succubus anyway, but yeah, it's nice to get some confirmation. So basically, like, would she be a romance option? Like, maybe. I'm not too sure. Maybe, because, you know, I wouldn't say a romance option, maybe a sex option, but, you know, succubuses, they go from men to men, never really sticking with one thing, unless, like, with certain anime and manga, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the next person, who's called Tanya. Now, if you go back to watching where I showed the trailer, then you'll notice that this is actually that woman from the trailer, and it looked like she and Willow were kind of, you know, well, it didn't look, it was obviously implied that she's a romantic option from the way that they were close together and how she had her hand was caressing Willow's cheek. Anyway, Tanya, transforming people without their knowledge, messing with their memories, turning back time. Willow's self-appointed mentor will do it all and more if it means she can finally accomplish her grand plan. What is the plan? She's not ready to tell you just yet. Try again tomorrow. So it says self-appointed. So she wasn't chosen by some like magic order to be Willow's mentor. She appointed herself mentor. Now, the question here is, the question that's been eating my mind is Tanya evil? Okay, now, I remember when I first watched the trailer, like, when I first heard her voice, I was just laughing. I was like, oh my god, because it sounded like one of those country girls. Not that I'm putting shit on the voice actor. No, I'm just saying it surprised me. Okay, but basically, it says, will you save the world or let it burn? Like, I do believe, like, maybe she has some motives to burn the world to let magic rule. Maybe she kind of, to me, seems like one of those characters who wants to watch the world burn and let magic rule over. But, like, I'm not trying to be a stereotype here. I'm not saying, like, all women like that are evil. But what I can say with 100% certainty, she is definitely a romance option. I am 100% sure about that. Okay, so it's in Wicked Willow, the story is the start. There are no stat meters to juggle, no annoying fail states, no tedious puzzles, and no passing through spoiler-laden guides to find the true ending. You will never think, what do they want me to say here, when presented with a choice. Instead, every choice is equally valid and can be experienced and enjoyed on its own terms, with its own consequences and plot twists. So that's good to know, because some visual novels, when you play them, they have like the true ending that you have to go to if you want to unlock it, you know what I mean? Like games like Amnesia Memories or something like that, and you play as this girl and she's lost her memory. It was based off an anime series, so yeah. So it's pretty that was a pretty good game and a pretty good anime series as well. Anyways, we're gonna move on to this next character who's called Avery. Now it says here, Willow's best friend knows everything there is to know about magic, at least when they're in front of a D&D table, you know, Dungeons and Dragons. Avery's dream is to publish a best-selling book on environmental sustainability, but they lose sleep at night worrying that printing the book on paper would send the wrong message. Because, as you all know, wood and that is what is part of making paper. You know, it's like wood, glue. Don't know the exact ingredients for it, but I definitely know it's wood's involved. Anyway, so I do believe that this guy could be a romance option, because I don't know, like, because as you know, like in some games and that, you know, some movies, comic books and that, best friends often can become love interests. It's, you know, it's like common in like all those like romance rom-coms and all that. At least in the ones I see, it's typically when I first see something, it's like, oh, best friends, yeah, they're definitely getting together. But anyways, that's a stereotypical of me. This romance may or may not happen. We don't know, except for the Tanya romance is 100% possible, at least in my opinion. All right, moving on. There's one last character. Well, actually, no, there's two characters down here, and one of them is, oh god, that's a big hat. Okay, her name is called Lydia. Now it says here, Lydia would say her biggest flaw is being too humble and modest. She'd be happy to write a whole essay on her selflessness, but it'll have to wait until tomorrow. She's got another award ceremony to go to, followed by a charity event she's headlining. Willow would say Lydia's biggest flaw is that she exists. So what I take from this is Lydia is kind of this character who's basically just full of herself, thinks she's hot shit, you know, like, think Victoria Chase in Life is Strange, how her parents were like art connoisseurs or whatever it's called, because they the Chase building, there was the Space Needle and that. So anyway, like, yeah, I do believe this character is gonna be an antagonist. I don't think she has magic. I think this is just a regular person, and I do believe that you'll have the option to screw with her with your magic. You know, like maybe like what do you call it? Use a potion that completely destroys her hair. Maybe erase her memory of this award ceremony that she's going to, and she completely forgot, or erase like the memory of the charity event she's headlining, and she doesn't show up, and maybe she's out like partying in that, and she doesn't remember that she has to go to this place. Yeah, it'd be like a big whoop, like big FU to her, you know, making her forget all this stuff. Anyways, it says character development here. Your decisions will determine which characters you grow close to and give you a chance to impact them with your powers. For example, what if Shadow the cat wanted to become a human? Would you help brew a potion to make that possible? What if Tanya had a premonition that Shadow's life would be in danger as a human, but Shadow wanted to take the risk anyway? Now, who is Shadow? A cat, obviously, from what I just read, but let's take a look. Okay, and lastly, we have Shadow the cat. What do you want here? A little blurb telling you about my life story? I'm a magic cat, not a bloody encyclopedia. Now, I don't really have too much knowledge about this character, because I really couldn't find anything much, really, but he talks. We know that he talks, and he might be, I think I read somewhere Shadow might be Avery's cat. I'm not too sure about that. Or it might be Willow's cat. Something. I don't know. It's a while since I read it. I can't find it again. If any of you can find it, I'll leave the link to the Kickstarter page below. Anyway, basically, I believe that the cat was sent by Tanya, because if you look, when you're watching the trailer, it says like, what Tanya's like, we're witches, darling, and then Shadow goes, wicked witches. So I assume that Shadow and Tanya know each other, and maybe Tanya sent Shadow to keep an eye on Willow, because I assume like that I assume that if the world's burning, Willow has something to do with it, and I mean, yeah, Willow has something to do with it, and that's maybe what Tanya's trying to do. Tanya's trying to build up Willow to be this powerful witch so that she can destroy the world. Like, this is all just speculation, nothing's been confirmed, but anyway, let's move on to the next part, which is what I really interested in. And this is what I'm interested in, LGBT themes. Now, I, for one, I'm a supporter, okay? I don't judge a person based on the color of their skin or, like, what gender they're attracted to. It's like, if you're straight or homosexual, it doesn't matter to me. And really, I gotta say, for a lot of people out there, you need to pull your shit together because it's 2019, okay? We need to put all this hate away. I mean, seriously. We need to grow as a world, as a community. We can't keep shutting people out just because they're a little different. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Anyways, one of the things I read down here that was really interesting. Just let me just get it real quick. Alright, just gonna scroll up here real quick. Here it is, yeah. Many of the characters and romance options. So there's many of the characters and romance options. So there's more than one romance option. I'm pretty sure Avery might be one, and I'm 100% certain that Tanya's one. Anyways, let's get back to it. Many of the characters and romance options in Wicked Willow span across the LGBT community, as the story tackles issues ranging from sexual repression to gender identity to conversion therapy. Wicked Willow is set in 1933, during a time when the community was just coming out of the shadows. Now, that's actually pretty interesting because, because I didn't really, like, know, like, I know, like, in the 60s and 70s, like, 40s and all that, there was backlash for, homosexuals and that, and, I really like the idea, that they're tackling issues ranging, like, they're not making their own story, they're actually sticking, like, they're making their own story, but they're sticking with, like, the setting of 1993, how some people didn't like homosexuals and all that. And I gotta say, conversion therapy here is, like, that would interest me. Now, in case any of you don't know what conversion therapy is, it's basically, with homosexuals, what some parents will do with their children is they take them to a sort of specialist. And they put them through this conversion therapy and, like, try to make, like, they show a person pictures of the same gender, and they use, like, shock therapy and make the people sick, so, like, to send signals to the brain to try and make the person repulsed by the same sex, so that way they can go from being a homosexual to being straight. Now, I don't know the exact methods for this, so I'm pretty sure that's what shock therapy was one of the ways, but, like, honestly, you know, I think that's just disgusting. Like, if parents send their child off to this place because they like someone of the same gender, I mean, like, honestly, it just really disgusts me, and I just, like, I can't like people who basically think there's something wrong with their child because they're a homosexual. I will not, and I'll even tell them to their face, like, if I have to take a beating, then so be it, but I'm not gonna if I see someone get pushed around because they're homosexual, you know, I'm gonna step up, okay? Like, I'm not a fighter, but I'm not gonna let that shit stand. Okay, so, yeah, so basically, the guy or chick who wrote this, T.F. Wright, was an author and game developer, previously worked on a fundraiser and activist for pro-LGBT causes. So this isn't just someone doing research on the community. This is actually someone who's an activist for lesbian, gays, bisexual, and transgender people. So that's pretty cool. So that's why I believe that this is why I believe this person will know what they're doing, because they're a supporter. I'm sure they've done their research as well, but yeah, anyways, you know, I'm like, because I support, like, I voted yes for gay marriage. Like, that's one of the things I did, because I don't really vote that much, like, and obviously I get in trouble, but yes, I voted yes on gay marriage as well when that vote thing came out. Yeah, so anyways, what I pledged to was an $18 one. It was so I get a Steam key for Wicked Willow before the game goes on sale. So that way I'll be able to play the game. I'll be able to show you on my channel next year, and it actually comes out February of next year. That's the estimated delivery, so I don't know for certain if it's actually gonna be, because as you know, like take The Walking Dead, the final season for example, episode 3 and 4 were meant to come out last year, in November and December, but they got pushed to this year, January and March. So like estimated means that's when they want to do it, but it could get changed. We're not, I'm not too certain. What I am certain of is this game really interests me, and I really want to play it. And I gotta say, they made they ended up getting $7,120, the people making this game. And honestly, you know, I'm kind of sad about that, because the reason is for 7,500 or 7,500 there was extended epilogues, endings which were extended scenes to see how things turned out after the game, and learn about Willow's life and what she was doing in the world she would created, and along with details on the person that you are in a relationship with. So yeah, that's like a little disappointing. Maybe they'll do that later on, like maybe not. I really hope they do, because I'd love to see what happens in the end. So yeah, anyway, that's really all I got to talk about this game. I still got to do my Kingdom Hearts 3 walkthroughs, plus me and John Zoom Gaming have to do a game walkthrough soon. So anyways, I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is TotalGamerJunkie signing off.